Did you guys know Kynshot made a hydraulic buffer spring
This
for
is
Glocks?
cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they made this for Glocks. This is so cool.
I've never ran it.
Neither
Yeah.
have I. I kind of want to, though.
So this one's Glock's, Glock 19 1-3.
Yep.
I know they make a bunch of others too. Probably almost every model of Glock you could get one for. Yeah, I don't know if I would run one or not. It's like at the end of the day,
Those are like the thick staples.
how much does the guide rod and spring affect the gun? I mean, quite a bit. You can change characteristics of that for better or worse. It's really hard to tell sometimes unless you shoot a lot of rounds and like you really have good control of the gun.
I think the killer on this is it's Gen 1 through 3. I've gone all the way into the Gen 5 space. I used to have a Gen 3. It was like a Glock that I made from scratch. I don't think there was a single Glock component on it. And that was a Gen 3, but I got rid of that firearm, I want to say last year. And I haven't had a Gen 3 since. So I've got a Gen 5 19 and a Gen 5 45.
My Shadow Systems is technically
The Gen
Gen
3.
3. So
That's-
I could run that particular one in my Shadow Systems.
I'd have to look, but I'm pretty sure they make them for Gen 4s and Gen 5s.
I'm sure they do. Yeah.
Gen 6s now.
Gen
I mean, really,
6s.
they aren't that different.
Yeah.
So I'd have to look, though.
I know some parts you like can run, Gen 3 parts in like Gen 4s and Gen 5s, depending on what part it is, Like I think some barrels are like that. and
I
some
don't think
other
the
things,
guide
but-
rod is one of those things because that's one of the things they've changed in the frame over time. Is
Yeah, the physical opening at
yeah,
the end is
is
changed.
different. Yep. I would be curious. I want to get this thing in a handgun and actually try it. And see
Well, I
how
mean,
it
what is the
works.
benefit of hydraulic buffers in general?
Well, this should soften the recoil impulse, and
Yeah.
it should make it so that the gun theoretically comes back on target faster. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, Charlie.
Or it's more like
Well,
the
if
recoil
it softens,
impulse.
it would be slower.
Right. Oh.
Yeah.
So
The recoil impulse is less, so therefore you, the shooter, can react to the recoil impulse more easily.
It should be a little bit less muzzle flip, right?
Yeah, and one of the biggest changes you're going to do when you're tuning a handgun is the snap or a push. Like, at the end of the day, it's really hard to mitigate how much pounds of energy come back at you. Every action requires equal and opposite reaction. So, it's really hard to mitigate that, but you can change how it feels. And a lot of people will want a softer feeling gun. It doesn't feel as snappy. Like if you shoot a gun with 115 grain 9mm and then you go put in some 147s, most people say the 147s are a little more comfortable to shoot. It's more of a push than a snap. And depending on where you're at, in your shooting career and training and kind of skill set and all that stuff, essentially, I know for me, at one point, I wanted a really soft shooting gun, didn't really care about the recoil speed of it, getting back on target, because it was still very fast, So I kind of went to a softer setup, and over time, I found that I actually liked it snap a little faster, snappier, get back on targets, because once you're back on target, you still need to allow for a sight picture to be acceptable. Usually that requires a little bit of settling. We aren't talking seconds here; we're talking milliseconds. But when you are talking that fast, the gun reciprocating speed does matter. And then you kind of get over I don't care how it feels. I care more how it returns to target. You could have a gun with the most recoil ever, but just as how does it return to target? And yeah, so this one, essentially, you just get a little hydraulic movement. So the spring's going to go in first, and essentially once the spring bottoms out, see if we can do it.
Yeah. That thing is tight.
There it
You might have
goes.
to use your thumb.
Yeah, that thing's
Found that
really
might
tight.
Be the easiest way.
So essentially the spring, it's kind of a two-stage. Some Glocks have two-stage springs in them. But essentially this first spring will compress, and then once that's compressed, it's compressing as well, it'll start activating the hydraulic side of it and get a little softer push there.
So the benefits just on the box. I mean, this again, it's just on the box, but
Yeah. What does the manufacturer say?
whatever the manufacturers say, reduces recoil motion by 70%. So I don't know how they're doing that. If they're doing one of those sled things, where they measure the
Compared
distance.
to what?
Yeah, like compared to a stock block.
I bet if we
spring?
go on their website or over on their YouTube channel, they probably have a video showing the muzzle flip.
Yeah. And they probably have one of those things that you measure it. It's like a grid thing behind it that you can do like either slow motion or it just stays there, like a recoil
80 different
sled.
ways that people have came up with to measure recoil.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It improves accuracy. That thing improves accuracy. So
This will not improve your gun's accuracy.
I think what they mean by that
it
is
physically cannot change how the bullet comes out of your
think what
barrel.
they mean is it will improve your accuracy.
Well, I think what they mean is you will be just as accurate but faster with follow-up shots is what they're trying to get at.
it'll be faster.
But yeah, I don't
more
think this is
accurate
going to have
follow-up
any
shots.
impact on
This
the
will-
bullet itself.
This will not change how the bullet flies down the barrel.
Right, yeah. So improves accuracy, that's why we're here. We're here to talk about what manufacturers say and what it really means. Reduces muzzle rise, apparently.
Could.
That could. They didn't give a percentage, though.
Well, and so that's always the thing, too, is like, is it a push back or is it a flip up?
Right, exactly.
So, they're specifically talking about muzzle rise and that extra. It'd be, I do have matching Glock 19s.
Oh, you could put them in there. Are they like
they
the
Gen 3s?
Cerakoted ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they Gen 3s?
Yeah.
We could test it out.
This sounds like a video we need to do. Do you have your handgun? Handy?
I do. Not with me today. No.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't have the
Why?
Glock
We could shoot it
19s
off
with
right
me,
now and
but-
see what
No, I was going to see
Live on the show?
if it made any difference in just pulling the slide back. See if it felt any different than a regular.
Yeah, I don't have my
Guide
I don't have my
spring
full
rod.
sized.
I'm sure
with
one
me
of the-
today.
Because we have a Gen 4 Glock in the studio, I think.
We do.
Yeah, I'm sure one of the things you'll probably notice is as you're pulling the slide back, you're going to feel this little extra piece here. You might not if you go fast, but if you go slow enough, you can probably feel when the spring goes, and then the feeling will probably change a little bit once the hydraulic portion goes.
So apparently it reduces wear and tear as well. I don't know why that would be, but
Well,
if
supposedly
the gun
it's
is
softer.
you slow it down.
softer,
Yeah.
you're
If
slowing
you can
down.
slow that slide down a little bit, technically the wear and tear is not as much.
Okay. And then they say reduces time between follow-up shots. I feel like you could say that instead of improved accuracy. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like that's kind of what
Well,
it
it
means.
Who's judging that too? Who's taking the shots? Yada yada
Yeah,
yada.
yeah.
Like I swear, every aftermarket part in the firearm space
Improves accuracy.
improves accuracy and follow up shots.
Is there any part
Like
that you're
your
aware of
safety.
that decreases accuracy?
Well,
This
if
will
we-
ruin
if
your
we-
accuracy.
If we use the escape from Tarkov rather,
Yeah.
Kartov. If we use the
Kartov.
escape from Tarkov graph, what do you think this affects? I think we need to get a little.
I've
bit
never
more in
played
depth.
Escape from
Yeah, there's
Tarkov.
like you put it. It's got a really in depth.
I know.
firearms building thing in there, and everything impacts little sliders on how your gun recoils, and like you can put like what is that? Halo buttstock that everyone has to have in California.
Oh, the Hera?
Yeah,
Hera,
the
yeah.
You put the
I was
Hera
gonna say
on
Hera,
there,
yeah,
and
Hera,
it like makes your gun into a laser beam
The
on full auto.
featureless stock styles.
Yeah. No, I think this definitely would improve. And then it says it's rated for 20,000 rounds and a simple drop-in replacement for
Interesting that this is only rated to 20,000 rounds
instead of
when
like
they're-
30 or 50,000.
No,
rounds.
their rifle buffers.
Isn't that like
are-
100,000 rounds?
It's guaranteed for a million rounds.
Yeah,
on
which I don't
the
even know
other
how you would
Kynshots.
test. How can you test a million rounds?
Well,
they probably have like a machine.
Yeah,
that
they
does
probably
it.
have a machine that just goes bump, 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 bump,
Yeah.
bump a million times until it breaks.
Yeah.
But this is only rated for 20,000 rounds.
20,000
If
rounds.
you're a competition shooter and you're shooting,
Yeah, that's
That's a
honestly
year.
It's a
But at the
year?
same
Yeah.
time, and you aren't necessarily changing guide rod, but your mainsprings, your recoil springs,
Yeah, they're
you're
gonna get
changing
you.
How
those
often
out
are you
anyway.
changing those out? Every year
Well,
for a competition shooter? If that's like the gun that you use.
like a high volume.
at least annually, if you're relying on it,
Hmm.
usually 10,000 rounds, you should be changing out springs.
Is that something that
if
you
you're
have
relying
extra
on-
in like your bag if you're
Oh,
a
yeah.
competition shooter or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah, extra trigger springs, recoil springs, main springs.
Unless you shoot CZs, right? Then you don't need to worry about any of that.
Well, no, dude, I've broken so many trigger springs. It happens,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Especially the other thing, too, is if you're dry firing with them. That's when, like, yeah, you might not be hitting your recoil spring or your recoil spring all the time. Like, this only hits anytime the slide moves. So if you're dry firing, not racking the slide, this isn't being affected. But now your hammer springs, your springs, trigger springs, those things that if they're moving,
Yeah.
especially on CZs like a Glock, trigger just goes flat to the back and you just smash it, or you get one of those training tools.
Yeah.
But like on a CZ, the trigger will still come back forward and you can keep smashing it. Essentially, you're just running that trigger spring over and over and over and over.
Well, I'm interested in testing this thing out. I think we should do it.
I think we need to do a whole series on Glocks and building Glocks, because Glocks are definitely the most buildable.
What would you consider that akin to an AR-15? Like what part?
I mean, the buffer for sure.
Yeah,
like they do make.
I feel like people like buffers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. We could test. We can test with the audience, see if they're interested in hearing us learn about Glocks, like they have been with us learning about AR-15s over the years.
Kind of the one downside of this that I see, that is it a problem? Is it not? I mean, depends on the person. There is a fluid in there. There's operating temperatures. Traditional, if you have just a guide rod with a spring, you don't really have to worry about that much. Where this says it is good to from negative 30 F to 150 F. So
we might break that in Minnesota either way.
No.
So it's kind of one of those, like if you do go to Antarctica and
Or Minnesota. In the
I
winter.
won't say what I was about to say. That was.
Well, you have to think this is also resting under that barrel.
Yeah,
It's like right next to the barrel, whereas the regular Kynshot or even a hydraulic buffer on something like a machine gun, it's in the back. It's
there's
away
no
from
barrel
the heat
heat being transferred to it.
Whereas this is going to be sitting pretty much underneath of the barrel.
Yep.
And if you're running it real hot, like real hot.
If it's ambient temp of 100 degrees out, and then and that's a 30-degree delta, which isn't hard to do.
I think this is something we should probably add to our list
For sure.
on our content calendar. We should probably do a whole video just on these. And the other thing I'm curious, because I didn't do any research on this specific thing. I just saw it and was like, oh, wow, I didn't even know they made those. That's pretty cool.
Which is the fun part about walking through our warehouse.
That is the fun part about walking through our warehouse. I'd be curious to know how it stacks up to just a regular guide rod and spring setup, because
It'll probably feel softer.
yeah. Well, I mean, in the cost department, is this even a cost-effective upgrade? Because if this is like a $140 thing, I'm guessing it's probably in the 60s.
I wish we did have like an actual retail, store that you walk through. I wish we did have prices of things right next to the products in our warehouse. We just have the barcodes to scan stuff.
So you could go shopping.
Yeah. So I can say like, oh, here's how much it costs. Just like a normal store. But that'd be kind of a lot of effort. So
We got Charlie looking up the price right now, because I am curious how that compares to a regular guide spring rod.
because it's probably guide spring rods for Glocks.
Okay, what's your guess on the cost of that?
This thing's probably like $80 to $95, something like that.
Okay. I'm guessing
That's probably where I'm at. I think the hydraulic buffer for an AR-15, I believe, is around $120. So I can't imagine it'd be more expensive than that.
I'm gonna guess $59.99.
Okay. Yeah, I was
What do we got?
gonna go a little low than with $60, but
You guys are cheap.
Are we? It's expensive.
You guys are cheap.
is it really?
So MSRP is $124.99.
Oh wow.
What's a regular
A regular guide rod.
guide rod and spring, like 30
like
bucks?
$30.
They come with a gun.
That's true.
You have to buy the gun to get it.
I don't know. I've
Like
honest,
from the OEM, if you were to replace the OEM part, we're probably looking at like $40.
Glock plastic guide rod,
Yeah.
probably $12, and then the spring's
That
probably
is-
$7.
So I'd be
I mean,
curious.
shipping's
I'd really
probably
be
gonna be
curious
just as
now to know,
much.
like, is the OEM better than this $120 handgun upgrade?
That's a good.
Which
that's
is
a good
a
little video.
sixth of the price of the Glock itself.
Yep, that's a good little video.
They come captured, so you're getting the spring and the guide rod in one. Glock factory spring. Let's look at that. Not an aftermarket.
Pull that up, Jamie. $699.
Wow.
So we're looking at like it'd be like a 2,000% price increase.
Yeah, and it looks like if you go up to the Glock 17, it's a whopping $11.
Yeah. So is that
This
2,000% better?
How do you even quantify that? Well, we'll need to figure that out ourselves. I think.
I would say no, because Glocks are perfect.
Exactly.
Perfection.
Yeah, so
That's why you have to change every single OEM part.
I mean, yeah, nothing.
As you heard while we were filming the podcast, neither myself, CJ, or Charlie had actually used this thing. What we decided to do is come down to targets forced about 100 rounds of ammunition and run it through a PSA dagger just to see how it felt, see if it actually makes a difference. And we're going to set up a GoPro so we can actually try to measure if there's any reduction in muzzle flip with this Kynshot in, and we'll give you our opinion on how it actually shoots. Let's go. All right, so we've got the regular dagger recoil spring installed in this. I'm going to take 15 rounds through it and kind of normalize myself back to what the dagger or a Glock 19 is supposed to feel like. Following that, we're going to put the Kynshot back in there, and I will give you my initial thoughts. What will be interesting to see is if the heat of the handgun, because I'm going to shoot it kind of fast, we'll see if that heat has any impact on the hydraulic fluid at all on the inside. I'd imagine it won't, but there is a clear difference between shooting with the regular recoil spring and this. Hopefully the GoPro is going to be able to show that, and then I'll just kind of describe it the best I can while I'm shooting. Then we'll hand it over to CJ and he'll do the same thing. Getting some heat off of that. We're gonna go ahead and take this apart, change it out as fast as we can here. It is hot, hot, hot. All right, we got the Kynshot in. It is, out of everything, a super easy upgrade to do, at least. As I lock, there we go. As I lock the Glock in place. Cut this part out with me looking stupid. You got to get it lined up.
There you go.
It is a super easy upgrade. It's also really hot in here, like probably 100 degrees in here. All right, now we got the Kynshot installed. We're gonna do 15 more shots. Ready? Going hot. It's hard to describe the difference between a regular spring rod and the Kynshot, but the Kynshot definitely shoots a little bit softer. You don't feel it as soon as you put it in and you rack the slide, but you definitely feel it while you're shooting, but it's hard to explain. Let's hand this off to CJ and give him the same 30-round shoot here.
Same thing, what Josh just did, and do 15 rounds with the regular spring from the dagger, the stock spring, and then another 15 rounds with the Kynshot. Ready, Josh?
Yep.
Going hot. Felt pretty good. A little snappy. At one point I had to adjust my grip. Okay, here we go. With the Kynshot, 15 rounds. You ready, Josh?
Yep. Tap, rack, bang.
There we go. Oh, I think we're just empty. Yeah. So my grip was so bad that last one, because my hands are sweaty, that it didn't actually lock the slide back. I've had that problem before on other guns or other Glocks. But you see, I did have that one little malfunction. I wonder if that has something to do with the heat buildup, or like something just didn't lock into the chamber correctly. I had a kind of a dead trigger there. So interesting that we did have one malfunction, but overall, it does feel a lot smoother, a lot cleaner. This does really help me with getting back on target a lot faster. So if I were to shoot a competition or something like that, it would really help me with just transitioning from target to target, getting those rapid follow-up shots. So maybe something that I would want to include in a competition gun if I were to build that out.
So that is our live reaction to trying the PB6003 hydraulic guide rod from Kynshot for the very first time. Let us know if there's anything else you want us to head to the range and give you a blind review on. We'll see you on the next one.